Hi guys, my name is Ali Samarco and I'm a contributor with MeidasTouch. We need to talk about why the right is making possibly the worst political calculation of all time by starting a feud with Taylor Swift. I mean, seriously, why are they so obsessed with her anyways? Well, for starters, she's everything that they hate. A wealthy, successful 34-year-old woman who lives with her cat. To them, a woman is only useful if she's married and has 3 kids by the age of 30. So in their eyes, she's a total failure. Never mind the billions of dollars in worldwide fame that she has. Second, she's dating a famous, attractive football player. This is of course ridiculous because how dare she date someone who's also successful in their 30s? After all, he's a fresh, young 34-year-old man who has plenty of options. So why is he going for an old, washed up 34-year-old woman? Yes, I can feel your eyes rolling through the screen because none of this makes any sense. The only real excuse as to why they don't like Taylor Swift is she's an icon with a lot of influence who's made very clear where she stands politically. Republicans are especially upset about this one because they thought they had a monopoly on every blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman in the country. Sorry guys, those days are over and there's a lot more where that came from. I am all in for this era, no pun intended, of women being brave enough to say what they believe in, even if it will cost them fans or opportunities. Yes, even if they'll get backlash from tons of dads, brads, and chads. Watch this clip of Taylor Swift talking about Marsha Blackburn, the senator from Tennessee, in 2018.
No, what I'm saying right now is
Bob Hope and
First
Dave
of all,
Crosby.
these aren't your dad's celebrities and these aren't your dad's Republicans.
Imagine if we came to you and said, hey, we've got this idea that we could halve the number of people that come to you next tour.
the other thing, just from a security
So you
standpoint,
think
Taylor Swift comes out against Trump.
I don't care if they write that.
I think my favorite part of this clip is at the end when she says, "Dad, I need you to forgive me for doing it because I'm doing it." That was essentially what I said to my own dad when I told him I was voting for Joe Biden in 2020 and I wanted to work in Democratic politics. Now, I didn't have to worry about losing fans or major security concerns, so perhaps my decision was a little more inconsequential than hers was. But the point still stands. This is the era of millennials and Gen Z changing the narrative and even changing the minds of their parents, and I am here for it. Taylor Swift is at the point in her career where she doesn't give an what anybody thinks of her. That's how we all should aspire to be. We should be able to speak up and then sleep well at night knowing that we're staying true to what we actually believe. A book that a lot of people in the Trump world could take a page or two from. Now listen to Trump's reaction to Taylor Swift's opinion on Marsha Blackburn.
What do you have to say to Taylor Swift now that she's in politics? Taylor Swift jumping into politics. What do you have to say to her? And what did she say? She said she wants people to vote for Democrats. And not Marsha Blackburn, especially. You know, well, Marsha Blackburn is doing a very good job in Tennessee. She's leading now substantially, which she should. She's a tremendous woman. I'm sure Taylor Swift has nothing or doesn't know anything about her. And let's say that I like Taylor's music about 25% less now, okay?
Right, because a world famous woman hasn't taken the time to research people or policies that could alter her entire career before making a public statement on them? Definitely, Donald. He always tries to cover up with humor, but trust me, he is seething. Also, here's Marsha Blackburn's response to Taylor's criticism of her.
When I'm talking to my friends who are musicians and entertainers, I say, if we have a socialistic government, if we have Marxism, you are going to be the first ones who will be cut off because the state would have to approve your music. And, you know, Taylor Swift came after me in my 2018 campaign, but Taylor Swift would be the first victim of that because when you look at Marxist socialist societies, they do not allow women to dress or sing or be on stage or to entertain or the type music that she would have.
I mean, does anybody know what she's talking about? What Democrats want to ban music or stop musicians from performing? I'm pretty sure Republicans are the ones who like to ban things. But this is genuinely what Marsha believes, because Tennessee is not sending their best to the United States Senate. No, Marsha, Democrats do not want Marxism, so please stop spreading lies. Every time a star, particularly country stars, come out and support Democrats or simply just reject extremism, the Republican Party goes up in arms. Think back to the Dixie Chicks.
Here we are, March 10th.
Is that when it was?
Describe for me what it is. You're up there on stage in London, and what is going on? Are there protesters in the audience? Do they have signs? Are they shouting?
No.
A small club, a 2,000-seater in London. We'd been there before, and actually the time we played there before, it was all Texans, expatriate Texans that were over there living and working. And
So everybody is just
we
cheering
were
the
wound up.
songs?
No, yeah, it was just a regular show.
Yeah.
There was nothing political about the show at all.
So what prompted this?
I think it was before Traveling Soldier.
Traveling Soldier, one of their big hits about a soldier who dies in Vietnam. But of course, the soldiers on everyone's mind that night were the men and women poised to invade Iraq. At home, the UN was divided in heated argument. Demonstrators were in the streets from London to San Francisco, even though 70% of Americans were clear that the protesters were wrong and it was time to go to war.
We don't plan things that we're going to say, and sometimes it backfires, not this big, but in the long run, we always feel like it makes the show fresher and more genuine when things aren't scripted.
Just 15 words, but they were 15 words. Just so you know we're ashamed, the President of the United States is from Texas. Why did you say it?
Out of frustration, at that moment on the eve of war, I had a lot of questions that I felt were unanswered.
Believe me, there'll be a lot more on this topic later. But that night, the Dixie Chicks say they didn't really give Natalie's words a second thought. You do this, the crowd reacts, doesn't react?
Yes, they reacted. There was no booing.
Big cheer? What? Did you want that?
That would mean that there was thought behind it. And I'm telling you, there wasn't thought behind it. We didn't walk off that stage going, oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. I can't believe I said that.
Neither of you listening to it said,
for a split second, I kind of went, and then it was so fleeting because I just know her. She tells a story about how when she was young, she was playing, just banging on the piano, and her father said, "Natalie, not another note. You cannot play another note. I can't handle it." And
She told me several times to stop
to be
playing.
quiet. And she just sat there and she looked right at him and she just pressed it, And that's Natalie. And I think, and I love that. And I think it's a beautiful thing to be that uninhibited. And so all of this is very, I don't know, I don't want it to break her spirit.
what was the first sign you had that there was sort of a seismic tremor from this?
Simon, our manager, coming in.
Well, we were going into his hotel, going up to watch our video, I think. And he got a call, and he's pacing back and forth. Oh no, we're automatically going, what is it? And then he says, he gets off the phone. We're like, what happened? Well, the AP picked up on what you said the other night, and but don't worry, it's going to blow over in 3 days. And I looked at him and I go, no, it's not. He goes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Don't worry about it. Doing the old manager spiel. And I said, I don't think so.
And was she ever right? It started with angry calls to radio stations.
We're going to boycott them for their music, and we're going to boycott you for playing it if you don't stop playing it.
Well, ma'am, that was the last one you're going to hear.
Hundreds of stations simply stopped playing the songs they had celebrated over and over again hours before.
I love their songs, but I don't agree with what they did. Thank y'all for pulling the Dixie Chicks, and I think we should be just as embarrassed for them.
One columnist said she might have said Osama bin Laden as her lover.
I can't believe that's even worth repeating.
Stupid broads.
And we'll take the heat for our mistakes, but this is a little out of control.
I mean, when people say things like Saddam's angels.
On the internet, they had pictures of you all with Saddam,
Doctored
right?
pictures, and that's internet stuff. It's
Doctored
ridiculous.
Pictures. Clear that up. We did not have our picture made of Saddam.
Republicans were bent out of shape. Because get this, they opposed the war. Now we know the war was a huge and costly mistake and the Dixie Chicks were right. But they took a social hammering from Republicans that they never recovered from. In more recent times, Kelsey Ballerini, Cassidy Pope, and Maren Morris, 3 female country singers, came out in support of abortion and trans rights. Now Maren Morris is taking a break from country music just because of the backlash within the industry for supporting human rights. But this is what the political right does. They try to tear down women that don't fall in line with their vision of what a woman should believe. Luckily for Taylor Swift, it doesn't matter. Her fan base is so big that they'll go wherever she wants them to go. And that definitely is not to go vote for a guy whose name rhymes with schmoddled schmump.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.